Every week, one 8-hour video will be uploaded. All novels uploaded here are completed, so you will get a full story without searching or waiting. I have listened to the translated version on web, and there are no major problems with translation. If you want Chinese novel translated, give me the original name of the novel and I will respond to your request as soon as possible. Please make sure your request is on the latest video. If you hear this "u" sound in the novel, it means either question mark or some space is left, like getting materials or experience gain there more but not shown. If after a name is used and after there is silence, it means exclamation marks were used as in shock. I don't know if this will happen in recorded one, but it happened in web version. Chapter 171. White Eagle. After sending Zhou Wanwan home, Chun Bo received a system notification in the car. The system notification came so suddenly that he had no idea who White Eagle was. The youngest of Shattered Jade Tower's 10 Fiends, codenamed Eagle, and also the vice-captain of the 10 Fiends. It is said that his strength has already reached the 5th level of the Gangqi realm, making him unrivaled among the younger generation. Hearing Chun Bo mention White Eagle, Ouyang Qin immediately stepped into her secretary role and recounted all the information about White Eagle. Chun Bo guessed that it was this White Eagle who had contacted Tang Zhen and sent Grey Rat and Pheasant to deal with him, entrusted by others loyal to the task. Chun Bo originally didn't hold a grudge against Shattered Jade Tower. This was merely an old score between him and Tang Zhen. Whatever methods you have, bring them on. I'll take them. No matter how much Tang Zhen hated him, he only targeted Chun Bo himself and didn't harm anyone else. But now, White Eagle had taken the initiative to hold a grudge against him, and that changed the nature of things. Having watched so many TV shows and movies, these people who live on the edge of a knife have the lowest moral bottom line and can resort to any dirty trick. Using people close to Chun Bo to threaten him was already considered a basic move. Although his feelings for the women around him weren't deep, he didn't want to drag them into the storm because of himself. Since that was the case, the only option was to destroy the storm before it even formed. Simple, direct. Dare to covet me? Chun Bo now felt terrifyingly strong. How dare you covet him? Now, no matter who came, he wouldn't tolerate it. Do you know how to find White Eagle? Chun Bo asked calmly. Boss, what do you want to do? Ouyang Qin trembled slightly. I don't like the feeling of being coveted. I always feel like this White Eagle fellow might ambush me at any moment. So what? Of course, it's better to strike first. Ouyang Qin was instantly speechless. She had never seen anyone dare to actively seek trouble with Shattered Jade Tower. One must know that Shattered Jade Tower had been able to operate this business for many years and remain standing, because the Shattered Jade Tower Master possessed enough strength to suppress an entire region. It was said that the Shattered Jade Tower Master, Gu Shueli, had already reached the half-step Grandmaster realm. Otherwise, how could it have survived so long in an environment full of enemies? Boss, don't you want to consider it? Going against Shattered Jade Tower. Repeated concessions will not bring peace. It will only make those who bully you more emboldened, escalating their harassment. Only by making your opponents feel pain and letting everyone know your fist is hard will they not dare to easily attack you. Because once they do, it means they are staking everything, and they cannot afford to lose. Seeing Chun Bo's resolute stance, Ouyang Qin found it difficult to say anything more. She made a sharp U-turn and drove the vehicle towards White Eagle's location. Facing White Eagle, a 5th-level Gangqi realm expert, Chun Bo didn't believe he would lose. Even if he couldn't defeat him with the Qilin Star Step, he could come and go freely. The opponent wouldn't be able to keep him. But to ensure everything was foolproof, Chun Bo decided to use his remaining 3 lottery draws to increase his trump cards. At the same time, he took 1 Jing Yuan pill that Pheasant had given him. According to Ouyang Qin, these 3 Jing Yuan pill were absolutely treasures among treasures. Qi-gathering realm martial artists who consumed them could mostly raise their cultivation by 2 to 3 realms at once. The lower a person's realm, the greater the improvement after consumption. Jing Yuan pill were extremely precious. Ordinary factions wouldn't bear to let Qi-gathering realm martial artists enjoy them, as it would be too wasteful. Chun Bo didn't care. Since they were given by others, why couldn't he eat them? As for the 2 Gangqi pills, they required martial artists to possess Gangqi for protection before they could be consumed. Qi-gathering realm martial artists who consumed them would not only receive no help but might even have their dantian burst from being unable to withstand the energy within. After consuming 1 Jing Yuan pill. Lottery. Let's go. With a thought, the dazzling 7-colored roulette quickly appeared before Chun Bo's eyes. Although inside the car, the confined environment did not affect the display of the 7-colored roulette at all. Even after so many draws, the necessary ritual still had to be performed. Chun Bo, sitting in the back seat, straightened his posture and prayed devoutly for a while. Drawl. Chun Bo silently chanted, and the splendid 7-colored roulette began to spin rapidly. Stop. Ding-a-ling-ling. Ding. The final position, the pointer landed on astonished Chun Bo. Ding. Congratulations to the host. You have won the 1 billion cash prize. This fund is completely legal. Please feel free to use it. The prize money has been promptly deposited into your Dragon Country bank account. Please check it. Chun Bo was speechless. My goodness, system, aren't you called the happy system? Why do you always draw prizes I don't want? When he wanted the 1 billion cash prize back then, he couldn't draw it no matter what. Now he finally knew that this 1 billion cash prize was simply not worth mentioning in front of other rare prizes. For example, the extremely abnormal Pangu Fist technique, its value far exceeded 1 billion, and even 10 billion couldn't buy this immensely powerful Pangu Fist technique. System. Responding to the host, the drawing process is entirely random, and this system cannot interfere with the drawing process. The purpose of the happy system is to allow the host to enjoy endless happiness while dealing with enemies. As the system explained, Chun Bo realized that recently, pressing those who harbored hostility towards him to the ground and tormenting them physically and mentally indeed brought boundless joy. Alright then, since the system was set up this way, he couldn't do anything about it. Ding! A sound. His phone received a notification of 1 billion cash arriving. Although receiving the 1 billion cash prize didn't meet his expectations, Chun Bo was still very happy. After all, this 1 billion cash was his to spend freely. From now on, he would be considered a wealthy person. System. Draw again. The splendid 7-colored roulette spun once more. Ding-a-ling-ling. Chun Bo noticed that once other prizes were drawn, they would disappear. But even after the 1 billion cash prize was drawn once, that prize still occupied half of the roulette. That is to say, the probability of drawing the 1 billion cash prize was still 50%. After multiple draws, Chun Bo's state of mind had changed. Now he only prayed not to draw the 1 billion cash prize again. Stop. This time, the roulette's pointer no longer stopped on the half share of the 1 billion cash prize. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have obtained the skill Azure Bird Wind Control. Azure Bird Wind Control. After activation, the host's body can become as light as the wind, standing still against the wind, and flying with the wind. The host can also use wind blades and hurricanes for attacks. Holy cow! Doesn't that mean he could fly freely, fight, and reach any part of the world just like a Super Saiyan? This was the ultimate dream of how many men. And he could also unleash wind blades and large-scale hurricane attacks. This was simply excellent for both offense and defense. An essential item for home and travel. Chapter 172. The dazzling, colorful roulette spun again. Ding! Congratulations to the host for acquiring the skill Zhulong Divine Sense. When Zhulong Divine Sense is activated, it grants the host senses far exceeding those of ordinary people, including sight, hearing, smell, touch, and intuition, covering a range of over 2 kilometers, which can be expanded based on the host's vision. Awesome! Zhulong Divine Sense is not as simple as clairvoyance or superhuman hearing. Instead, it brings everything within a 2-kilometer radius into one sensory range. This means that as long as someone within a 2-kilometer radius attempts to attack him, he will immediately perceive it. It's important to remember that life and death battles happen in an instant. A hair's breadth can lead to a 1,000-mile error, so gaining the initiative is extremely important. Possessing Zhulong Divine Sense is equivalent to denying the opponent the right to gain the initiative. For example, if someone tries to snipe him from 2 kilometers away with a high-powered sniper rifle, under normal circumstances, he wouldn't even react before his head was blown open. But with Zhulong Divine Sense, As long as the opponent aims a sniper rifle at him within 2 kilometers, his divine sense will immediately detect it. Even if he encounters a sharpshooter whose sniping location is beyond the 2-kilometer range, as long as the bullet enters the divine sense's coverage, no matter how powerful the sniper rifle, the bullet will still take several seconds to fly through the air. This time is enough to dodge any assassination. This is absolutely a top-tier life-saving skill. Besides preventing enemies from gaining the initiative, Zhulong Divine Sense also plays a huge role during combat. When Zhulong Divine Sense is activated, it's equivalent to having a 360-degree, no-dead-angle view of himself, allowing no enemy to hide, no matter which direction they come from. After receiving Zhulong Divine Sense, Chun Bo eagerly activated his Divine Sense. Whoosh! The scenery and sounds within a 2-kilometer radius instantly appeared in Chun Bo's mind. The next second, a wicked smile curled on Chun Bo's lips. About 300 meters behind us, 3 cars are following. Hearing this, Ouyang Qin, who was driving the sports car, frowned and quickly glanced at the rearview mirror. But she didn't see anything. How could an ordinary person see things 300 meters behind them on the road? Moreover, they were currently in the city with countless obstacles in between. But she wouldn't doubt Chen Bo, because she had already witnessed too many incredible things about him. Has White Eagle discovered us?
Chen Bo nodded.
They were originally coming for White Eagle. Ouyang Qin had finally found White Eagle's car and had been following it. She didn't expect that the other party had already discovered them and had already arranged a contingency plan. A Gangchi Realm 5th stage expert's alertness truly isn't ordinarily high. Boss, what do we do now? Just follow White Eagle. Ah? He's already discovered us. He'll definitely lead us to a certain place for a turtle-in-a-jar situation. Why don't we retreat first and wait until White Eagle is alone before we make our move? It wouldn't be too late then. In the face of absolute strength, all schemes and tricks are futile. Today, this White Eagle is dead for sure. I said, even Jesus can't save him. Ouyang Qin, helpless. She could only grit her teeth and follow White Eagle's car. While there was still some time, Chun Bo quickly circulated his dantian to accelerate the absorption of the essence chi pill he had just taken. Following White Eagle's vehicle all the way to a deserted factory, White Eagle's white Bugatti in front suddenly slowed down. At the same time, the 3 black sedans following behind rapidly sped up and rushed forward. The 4 cars positioned themselves in front, behind, to the left, and to the right of Chen Bo, forming a pincer attack. He turned his head to look at the black sedan driving alongside them. A young man with a head full of white hair revealed an arrogant smile, raising his hand to make a pistol gesture and placing it on his temple. His laughter was full of wantonness and arrogance. Boss, we're surrounded. What do we do now? Ouyang Qin gripped the steering wheel nervously, her expression anxious and tense.
Chen Bo's lips curled upwards.
What to do? Let's just deal with it. As soon as his voice fell, Chun Bo raised his hand and extended it out of the car window. Wind blade. Swish. The black car next to them, along with the arrogant white-haired young man and everyone inside, was instantly split in 2, cut in half at the waist. Boom! The out-of-control sedan crashed into a huge rock, instantly crumpling into a ball and bursting into flames. The sudden turn of events instantly stunned everyone. Even White Eagle, who was driving at the very front, hadn't expected Chen Bo to dare to make the first move. Screech! White Eagle's Bugatti suddenly braked sharply and swerved, positioning itself horizontally in front of Ouyang Qin's vehicle, forcing her to stop. Originally, White Eagle intended to force Chen Bo into the deserted factory and then slowly torture him to death. He hadn't expected Chen Bo to be even more arrogant than he imagined, directly making a move without a word. But at this moment, he could no longer wait. He wouldn't allow anyone in Yangqing to be more arrogant than him. The sports car, intercepted by White Eagle, made another sudden break. Before the vehicle had even come to a complete stop, 3 streaks of cold light instantly cut through the air, slashing towards the sports car where Chen Bo was. Under Zhulong Divine Sense, the moment White Eagle made his move, Chen Bo had already perceived his actions. The instant the cold light flashed, Chen Bo had already scooped up the unreacting Ouyang Qin with one arm, flipping out of the sports car. He perfectly avoided the 3 fierce slashes. Ouyang Qin's cobalt blue sports car wasn't so lucky. It was instantly vertically sliced into 4 pieces by the fierce slashes. The cuts were as smooth as a mirror, showing the sharpness of the slashes. Indeed, the Gangchi Realm 5th stage White Eagle was different from the small Fry Chunbo had encountered before. At least a little stronger. Chunbo had clearly seen the moment White Eagle made his move. He didn't use any weapons. The instant he struck, his right hand instantly transformed into a powerful eagle claw. With a swipe of the eagle claw, 3 slashes were born from the force. This was similar to his wind blade. It's just that Chunbo's wind blade wasn't as flashy as White Eagle's. Could be activated with a mere lift of the hand. The moment Chunbo landed, 8 burly men in black suits quickly got out of the remaining 2 black sedans, completely surrounding Chunbo and Ouyang Qin. Originally, there were 12 of them, but Chunbo's wind blade instantly killed 4 people in 1 car. However, the remaining 8 still gave Ouyang Qin a strong sense of oppression. Of course, in Chunbo's eyes, these people were nothing. Chunbo, you truly surprised me. You're the first person who dared to actively target me. But that's good. It saves me the trouble of finding you. Since you're here, then stay. White Eagle, dressed in a suit, lit a cigarette, took a light puff, his eyes filled with disdain and contempt. Is it meaningful to spout such threats? The last person who threatened me was that Mohawk head. Do you want to ask him how he felt when he was getting beaten? You don't need to bluster. Before coming here, I've already checked a 3-kilometer radius. No one will come to save you. White Eagle arrogantly lifted his chin, as if he were a high and mighty god who could crush Chunbo, this ant, with a mere flick of his hand. Kill him, White Eagle commanded. Chapter 173. At White Eagle's command, the 8 burly men in black suits instantly swarmed Chunbo. Boss, be careful. Ouyang Qin shrieked in terror. These 8 suited men were all martial artists around the Qi Gathering 7th level. Chunbo might not put 1 or 2 of them in his eyes, but 2 fists are no match for 4 hands. Facing the combined attack of these 8 martial artists, even Chunbo would feel immense pressure. However, the next second, Chunbo slowly raised his hand, extending one hand with 5 fingers spread. Instantly, countless sharp slashes burst forth. The sound of flesh being cut was incessant. Blood sprayed like a rain of blood, splattering everywhere. The 8 suited men were like walking chunks of meat, cut into pieces here and there. What did you just say? Be careful of what? Chunbo's voice was not loud, but it was extraordinarily shocking. Ouyang Qin and White Eagle were both stunned. What kind of terrifying combat power was this? 8 Qi Gathering 7th level experts were truly like ants before him. With just a raise of his hand, the 8 suited men didn't even know how they died, leaving no complete corpses. White Eagle finally understood why Gray Rat and Pheasant had failed. At first, White Eagle thought Ouyang Qin was playing tricks behind the scenes, using a honey trap to control Gray Rat, and only then had the chance to kill him. When he learned that Pheasant had failed and was counterkilled, White Eagle realized that it had nothing to do with Ouyang Qin. Perhaps there was an expert lurking beside Chunbo, protecting him. Otherwise, with Pheasant's strength having entered the Gangchi realm, how could he have been instantly killed by someone? President Bo's name was popular across the entire internet. Everyone knew President Bo was a heartless tycoon, so it was reasonable for him to hire a few Gangchi realm experts for secret protection. So, upon learning that Chunbo and Ouyang Qin were tracking him, White Eagle first had people investigate all martial artists within a 3-kilometer radius to ensure there were no Gangchi realm martial artists protecting Chunbo. He had never imagined, nor dared to believe, that the power capable of instantly killing Pheasant would come from Chunbo himself. What a joke! Chunbo was only in his early 20s. If Chunbo's strength had already reached the Gangchi realm, what a terrifying existence he would be. Even he, who was hailed as a martial arts genius, only broke through to the Gangchi realm at 22, becoming the youngest of the 10 fiends of Shattered Jade Tower. He didn't believe there was a genius more formidable than him in this world. Of course, Chunbo was not a martial arts genius. He just had a cheat. In this world, Who still competes with you on talent or effort? If you're going to compete, compete on whose cheat is more powerful. Although extremely surprised by Chun Bo's combat power, it hadn't reached the point of making White Eagle feel fear. It was just instantly killing a few chi-gathering realm trash. He could do that too. You treat my men like vegetables to be chopped. You're really something. White Eagle sneered sinisterly, his eagle-like pupils fixed on Chun Bo. Don't worry, you'll soon be just like them. Before his words finished, countless wind blades condensed in Chun Bo's hand, slashing towards White Eagle. White Eagle frowned. Damn it! Shouldn't this be the part where they exchange harsh words and retort each other? This kid has no martial ethics. He attacked before he even finished speaking. Whoosh! 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 White Eagle's figure instantly transformed into streaks of afterimages, perfectly dodging all of Chun Bo's slashes. At the same time, his hands turned into sharp claws, carving out ear-piercing screeches in the air, responding to Chun Bo's wind blades with slashes. Bang! 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 Countless slashes collided violently, producing deafening air explosions, and the energy impact caused ripples to spread throughout the entire space. Several vehicles parked nearby and the surrounding boulders were instantly sliced, revealing smooth, mirror-like cuts. Chun Bo felt a slight sense of anticipation. White Eagle, a Gangchi Realm 5th level expert, could indeed provide him with some enjoyment, preventing him from being instantly killed by a single blow. Facing Chun Bo's composure, White Eagle was not so calm. A wave of horror surged in his heart. Even a lion uses its full strength to fight a rabbit. From the very beginning, he had already used his full strength, striving to instantly kill Chun Bo with one blow. But to his surprise, Chun Bo's strength was actually on par with his own, or even slightly superior. He was a Gangchi Realm 5th level expert, a prodigy among the younger generation. Moreover, he cultivated the Golden Eagle profound art. In terms of speed and strength, no one at the same realm could rival him. Yet, he gradually discovered that Chun Bo's speed and strength were even more terrifying than his own. If there was such a person in Yangqing, he had no reason not to have heard of him, and sensing Chun Bo's aura, it was clearly only chi gathering 2nd level. Is this reasonable? What kind of monster is this? Damn it. White Eagle's heart had already begun to regret provoking such a monster for Tang Zhen's paltry sum. If he had known earlier that Chun Bo was so abnormal, he wouldn't have provoked Chun Bo even for 100 billion. Chun Bo, we have no enmity between us. Everything is because of Tang Zhen's commission that we attacked you. There's no reason for us to fight to a mutual defeat. Let's call our accounts even. I promise Shattered Jade Tower won't trouble you again in the future. How about it? White Eagle proactively extended an olive branch of reconciliation to Chun Bo. No how. There's no possibility of mutual defeat between us. There's only your death and my survival. As he spoke, Chun Bo instantly slashed dozens more wind blades towards White Eagle. Chun Bo didn't believe a single word White Eagle said. Even without using his Zhu Long divine sense, Chun Bo knew that White Eagle was a ruthless and vengeful person. To expect such a person to actively reconcile with him? Moreover, the system judged that his malice towards him was real, so his death would not be unjust. Kid, I acknowledge your strength, but to kill me, you're still far off. Continuously using wind blades, your vital energy consumption must be no less than mine. Let's see how long you can last. White Eagle let out a sinister laugh. Is that so? Chun Bo, who had only extended one hand, raised his other hand as well. So using this thing consumes vital energy? Why don't I feel it? The moment Chun Bo spread his hands, hundreds of sharp wind blades instantly condensed, like countless crescent moons, illuminating the entire night sky. White Eagle's heart trembled. Looking at the sky full of crescent moon-like wind blades, White Eagle's scalp tingled. Damn it! Is this still a human? Using such terrifying wind blades without consuming vital energy? How can I fight this? Go find a ghost to fight you. For the first time, White Eagle felt fear from Chun Bo. An unconquerable fear. Chun Bo, you're formidable. But do you think Shattered Jade Tower truly has no one left? I'll remember today's grudge. One day, I'll chop you up and feed you to the dogs. All right, what are you babbling about? Talk after you survive today. Constantly spouting threats, Chun Bo found it irritating. If you have the ability, use it and make me happy. If you don't have the ability, don't babble. If babbling was useful, he would have died 1,000 or more times already. After all, the system had judged that there were hundreds, if not 1,000 people who harbored malice towards him. If I don't survive today, you can say that after you catch me. White Eagle revealed a wicked smile, his hands instantly transforming into wings, soaring into the air like a majestic eagle. Chapter 174. White Eagle, suspended in midair, looked down from above and laughed wildly. Ha 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 ha. The golden eagle profound art I cultivate not only gives me ultimate speed and strength, but the ability to fly is its greatest killing move. Have you ever seen someone who can fly? Without the ability to fly, how will you kill me? Can your wind blades even reach me? Ha ha ha. It's quite rare. I've never seen a birdman before. White Eagle mocked, immediately flew into a rage and cursed. You're the birdman. Your whole family are birdmen. This is a golden eagle? Do you understand? Isn't it just flying? Does one need to turn into a birdman for it? Chun Bo slightly bent his posture and leaped upwards, hovering 10 meters higher than White Eagle. Is it difficult? Chun Bo sneered, haughtily gazing at White Eagle. Upon seeing this, White Eagle's eyes bulged out. What the F? This scene before him was unbelievable. At this moment, Chun Bo was like a light cloud, floating gracefully in the air. No words could describe White Eagle's feelings at this moment. Stepping on air, moving through the sky. This was the mark of a Grandmaster-level expert. This Chun Bo in front of him was actually a Grandmaster expert. This completely shattered White Eagle's worldview. Chun Bo was only 21 years old. It was impossible for such a young Grandmaster realm powerhouse to exist in this world. No matter how monstrous a genius, even if he started cultivating from the womb, he couldn't reach the Grandmaster level in just 20 short years. The only possibility was that Chun Bo was originally a reclusive Grandmaster realm old man who had returned to a youthful state through some means. This would explain all the anomalies about Chun Bo. Run. Escape immediately. This was White Eagle's first reaction. Golden Eagle spreads wings. White Eagle rapidly flapped his wings, stirring up gusts of strong wind. Immediately, sand and stones flew around, and dust billowed. Thick smoke and dust blocked Chun Bo's vision. Seizing the opportunity, White Eagle folded his wings, and with a bang of a sonic boom, he turned and fled at supersonic speed. However, Chun Bo, having obtained the Zhulong divine sense, could clearly perceive White Eagle's movements even with his eyes closed. Even his heartbeat and pulse were within Chun Bo's grasp. Just as White Eagle thought he could escape with this extreme speed, a ghostly figure appeared before him, completely blocking his path forward. Your birdman's speed isn't good enough. This figure was none other than Chun Bo. White Eagle gritted his teeth and slammed on the brakes. Almost simultaneously, he rapidly flapped his wings, and two fierce and powerful slashes, like wild beasts, lunged towards Chun Bo. However, Chun Bo calmly waved his hand, and the fierce and powerful slashes instantly dissipated. Damn it! White Eagle gritted his teeth and turned to flee again. But how could Chun Bo let him succeed again and waste his time? Whoosh! Chun Bo, with ultimate wind-riding speed, once again intercepted White Eagle's path. This time, Chun Bo said nothing superfluous. Boom! A punch carrying destructive aura was thrown. This was precisely the Pangu Fist technique that had blasted Grey Rat and Pheasant into a bloody mist with one punch. White Eagle was indeed a Gangchi Realm 5th layer expert. He instantly perceived the terrifying power contained within this punch. Having experienced countless battles, he instinctively recalled all his Gangchi, instantly condensing a Gangchi shield in front of him. Bang! The Gangchi shield, formed by all of White Eagle's Gangchi, instantly shattered into fragments under Chun Bo's Pangu Fist. But at the same time, this Gangchi shield also consumed 80% of the power of Chun Bo's punch. The remaining 20% of the force, after breaking through the Gangchi shield, landed directly on White Eagle's lower abdomen. Puff! Blood spurted wildly. Having lost his Gang-Chi transformed wings flying ability, White Eagle's figure, like a small bird hit by a shotgun, fell heavily to the ground. I am kind-hearted. I can't bear to see you and your brothers separated by life and death. I'll just send you to reunite with them. Chun Bo, floating in the air, looked down at White Eagle and sighed. Senior, it was I who was ignorant and offended you. I deserve to die 10,000 times. But can Senior give me a chance to atone for my sins? Hearing this, White Eagle struggled to prop himself up with his hands, his expression terrified. Senior, Chun Bo was puzzled. If he knew what White Eagle was thinking at this moment, Chun Bo would surely be amused. So, even I didn't know I was in the Grandmaster realm. In reality, the reason he could step on air and fly was simply because he used the Azure Bird wind control obtained from a lottery draw, which allowed him to fly by controlling the wind. Regardless, since White Eagle had begun to beg for mercy, Chun Bo decided to go through the motions with him. Atoning for sins? I love atoning for sins. Tell me, how do you plan to atone for them? White Eagle, who didn't know how Pheasant had died, was overjoyed to hear that Chun Bo was willing to give him a chance to atone for his sins. His mind raced, trying to figure out what valuable item he possessed that would make Chun Bo willing to spare him. Initially, he thought of money, but this idea was immediately rejected. What kind of person was Chun Bo? Someone who could donate the Mingtang Jade Buddha head, worth 5 billion, without a second thought. Would he still be short of money? He was glad he hadn't acted impulsively, attempting to buy his life with the most worthless thing, money. Then he thought of elixirs. But this idea was immediately rejected again. What kind of realm was Chun Bo in? A Grandmaster-level figure. Would he still care about his elixirs, which were only somewhat useful for those in the Gang-Chi realm? Moreover, when would a Grandmaster-level figure ever lack elixirs? No. Chun Bo definitely wouldn't care for these things. I know you, Senior, definitely won't care for my Golden Eagle profound art, but it is an Earth-tier cultivation technique, worth a lot. I'll give it to you. Do you think you can spare my life? Let me see. Chun Bo beckoned to White Eagle with his finger. Hearing this, White Eagle immediately showed joy, respectfully pulled out the Golden Eagle profound art cultivation technique, and handed it to Chun Bo. Chun Bo took the cultivation technique and casually flipped through it, then curled his lips. You think this Birdman cultivation technique can atone for your sins? Are you trying to turn me into a Birdman like you? Presumptuous. I'm confiscating this cultivation technique. As he spoke, Chun Bo put the Golden Eagle profound art into his embrace. He certainly wouldn't learn this Birdman technique. But White Eagle had just said that this technique was quite valuable. As long as it had value, he could sell it to others. Watching Chun Bo's actions, White Eagle was speechless for a moment. In the past, he was always the one extorting others. He never thought the boomerang would eventually land on him. Today, he was the fat sheep being slaughtered. How much does atoning for sins cost exactly? Please enlighten me, Senior. Well, this thing can be very expensive, but it can also be very cheap. It mainly depends on your sincerity. The implication was, take out everything valuable and not so valuable that you have. Only by taking out everything could one show sincerity. White Eagle, who had often engaged in extortion, knew exactly what Chun Bo was referring to. To save his life, he went all out. As long as his life remained, these external possessions could be earned back in minutes. I have 5,000 bitcoins in my overseas account. I wonder, Senior. Chapter 175. 5,000 bitcoins? Chun Bo was overjoyed. Currently, 1 bitcoin is worth approximately 90,000 US dollars, equivalent to over 600,000 Dragon Nation currency. 5,000 bitcoins are worth over 3 billion Dragon Nation currency. Most importantly, Bitcoin is an unregistered virtual currency. After being transferred from White Eagle's account to his own, no traces can be found. This was what Chun Bo wanted most. If it were purely money, Pheasant's account also had 300 million Dragon Nation currency at the time. However, Chun Bo did not dare to touch Pheasant's account because the flow of those funds could be easily traced. Taking that money would bring him a lot of trouble. White Eagle's bitcoins, on the other hand, had no such risks. This is good, this is good. White Eagle, you're truly bold. You know our country prohibits virtual currency-related business activities, yet you hoarded so many bitcoins. Today, I will confiscate them for the country. Chun Bo said with stern words and a righteous expression. White Eagle, no wonder you're so rich, so you're the type to pluck feathers off a passing goose. No, this isn't just plucking feathers, it's possibly even stewing the goose for soup. Senior, everything you said is correct. We must resolutely not do things that go against national policy. I have equipment in my office to log into the website. I'll go back immediately and transfer these bitcoins to you, so you can destroy them. Slap. Chun Bo gave White Eagle such a hard slap that his head rang. Put away your little tricks. Do you think I don't know the Bitcoin transaction process? For a period, Chun Bo had researched Bitcoin and understood its transaction process. Logging into Bitcoin does not necessarily require specific equipment. In most cases, it can be done on a mobile phone. Trading platforms like Coinbase, Gemini, and Binance all have corresponding mobile applications. By downloading the relevant application, users can complete registration, login, top-up, purchase, sale, and transfer a series of Bitcoin transactions on their phones. Chun Bo did not believe that White Eagle, a big holder of 5,000 bitcoins, wouldn't even have the relevant application installed on his phone. The problem was, Chun Bo currently didn't have a Bitcoin account. Opening an account now would require too much information and waste too much time. However, Ouyang Qin must have a Bitcoin account. Otherwise, her auction house would be running in vain. Chun Bo knew a thing or two about the inner workings of an auction house. For some dirty money and items, the best way is to turn them into Bitcoin transactions. Sure enough, Chun Bo found Bitcoin-related software on White Eagle's phone. Under Chun Bo's friendly gaze, White Eagle completed a series of operations, transferring all 5,000 bitcoins to Ouyang Qin's account. With this, Chun Bo gained another 3 billion Dragon Nation currency. With this money, what was a 1 billion cash prize? Senior, I've transferred all my bitcoins to you. Can you let me go now? All right. White Eagle, dead. He didn't even get a chance to say his last words. Ever since he understood this martial arts world, Chun Bo firmly believed that being merciful to enemies was being cruel to himself. How could a person like him, full of love and hope for life, be cruel to himself? That was impossible, so he had to be cruel to others. After killing White Eagle, Chun Bo searched his body again. Damn it! You truly deserve to die. You even hid such good things and didn't give them to me? Chun Bo kicked White Eagle's corpse several times. The reason was that he found another bottle of pills on White Eagle's body. He didn't know what many of the pills were, but just by smelling them, he knew they were high-grade goods. What he hated most was people hoarding and not sharing their good things. If he had resurrection magic at this moment, he would definitely resurrect White Eagle and then kill him 100 times over. The scene of Chun Bo ending White Eagle's life like killing a dog left Ouyang Qin dumbfounded. White Eagle, the terrifying vice-captain of the 10 Fiends, had no room to resist in front of Chun Bo. Ouyang Qin also firmly believed that Chun Bo's strength must have reached the Grandmaster realm. Watching Chun Bo's bandit-like actions, Ouyang Qin felt incredibly surprised. Chun Bo, this person, was already so rich, yet he was still so meticulous about every penny. He was already so strong, yet he didn't even let go of these pills that only worked for the Gangchi realm. Perhaps this was one of the reasons Chun Bo was so powerful. He didn't let go of any resource that could enhance his strength. But at the same time, Ouyang Qin also felt very fortunate. She was also one of those who attempted to assassinate Chun Bo. Given Chun Bo's vengeful and decisive personality, sparing her was already a display of leniency. Ouyang Qin did not believe that Chun Bo was so enchanted by her cooking that he couldn't bear to kill her. With Chun Bo's economic and martial arts strength, what kind of woman couldn't he find? Boss, what do you plan to do with these 5,000 bitcoins? Ouyang Qin asked respectfully. What 5,000? Wasn't it 6,000? Ah? Ouyang Qin was stunned. This guy must have seen the 1,000 bitcoins in my account when he was transferring money just now. He didn't even spare the money in my account. But what could she do? Ouyang Qin forced a smile. Apologies, boss, I misread it. It is indeed 6,000 bitcoins. Find an opportunity to sell them all. Only when they are converted into cash will I feel at ease. Ouyang Qin, Shattered Jade Tower headquarters. Inside a 200-square-meter office with dark brown solid wood flooring. The ebony desk in the center had clean lines, and a silver desk lamp sat on its corner. Most striking was the floor-to-ceiling glass wall, through which the neon lights of the street scene projected, coating the entire office in a luxurious golden glow. A middle-aged man in a Zhongshan suit, with a kind face but exuding authority, sat at the desk. Building Master, White Eagle's Chi Jade is shattered. A man in a red suit, looking very sunny, stood before the ebony desk, standing straight and speaking respectfully. The person referred to as the Building Master showed no ripples in his eyes, calm as if this matter had nothing to do with him. No need to make a fuss. Our line of work is like licking blood from a knife's edge. If you're not skilled enough, you die. That's why I often tell you to diligently cultivate and improve your strength. White Eagle is indeed a pity. Who is the person who managed to kill him during a mission? It's a young man named Chun Bo, but White Eagle was not killed during a mission. Instead, he was followed by Chun Bo to the suburbs and ambushed. Oh, the Building Master looked up with interest. Someone dared to actively attack White Eagle and successfully killed him? How did White Eagle provoke such a strong individual? The man in the red suit gentlemanly placed Chun Bo's information in front of the Building Master and explained the entire story of why Chun Bo hunted White Eagle. After listening to the man in the red suit's narration, the Building Master burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, interesting. I haven't seen such an interesting person in a long time. Chapter 176. Deep into the night, inside a luxurious villa by the river in Yangqing. At this moment, Tang Zhen's face no longer held its usual arrogant and composed expression. It was replaced by despondency and fury. Having just received news from Shattered Jade Tower, he furiously smashed his Apple phone to pieces. Useless. You are all a bunch of useless trash. I spent so much money hiring you, and you can't even kill one person. This White Eagle is the most useless of the useless. He even had the nerve to tell me that under his command, his missions have never failed. Damn your ancestors, you bragged to the heavens, and in the end you even got yourself killed. In this, Tang Zhen was actually wronging White Eagle. As an assassin, he truly had never failed a mission. Because in his line of work, colleagues who failed missions were no longer around. Therefore, whether it was Gray Rat, Pheasant, or White Eagle, they were all naturally gifted assassins whose missions had never failed. Just now, Shattered Jade Tower gave Tang Zhen two choices. One was to abandon the assassination of Chun Bo and end the mission there. The second was to continue the mission, but the difficulty of assassinating Chun Bo had been raised from the original C level to S level, and if he wanted to continue, he would have to pay the price difference first. The price required for an S-level mission was more than 100 times that of a C-level mission. Regardless of the option, Tang Zhen was so angry he cursed. Do you have any professional ethics? The mission is halfway through, and his relationship with Chun Bo has reached a point of no return. Now you tell me I need to pay more? How is this any different from a doctor suddenly asking a patient for more money halfway through an operation on the operating table? If you don't pay, you can just slowly consider it on the operating table. Whenever you decide, I'll finish the operation for you. What kind of place is an operating table? Cold and heartless place. This was exactly like his current predicament. At this moment, if Chun Bo retaliated, he would have no room to resist at all. If he paid more, he would have to swallow this humiliation. More importantly, the mission level was adjusted from C level to S level, requiring tens of billions in price difference. If I had that kind of money, why would I bother with all this? Don't look at Shangtang Financial controlling tens of billions in assets. In reality, the funds Tang Zhen could mobilize were only a few hundred million, and the vast majority of it was his personal savings. But compared to his anger towards Shattered Jade Tower, The sense of oppression and fear brought by Chun Bo was the true source of Tang Jun's stress. He now realized that he had truly provoked someone he shouldn't have. Initially, he thought that taking down a mere Chun Bo would be an easy task. He never expected Chun Bo to successively counterkill all the assassins he sent out. He even actively hunted down White Eagle, who was the leader of the assassins. After learning this news, it would be false to say that Tang Jun wasn't afraid. It was too late to apologize to Chun Bo now, and he believed Chun Bo was not someone who would easily accept his apology. He was truly scared. He was afraid that Chun Bo would suddenly strike him, and his life would come to an end. Now, apart from confessing to his family and seeking help from the Tang family, he had no other option. Even if he lost his right to inheritance, he accepted it. Nothing was more valuable than his own life. Having thought everything through, Tang Jun took out a brand new Apple phone from the drawer. Knowing his habit of smashing phones, his secretary thoughtfully kept several new phones at his home and office, making it convenient for Tang Jun to replace his phone immediately after smashing one. He removed the SIM card from the shattered phone, and Tang Jun skillfully activated the new phone. He wanted to contact Tang Tang, one of the core figures of Shang Tang Group, who held significant influence within the Shang Tang Group. There was another important reason why he contacted Tang Tang. She was his older sister. In his lineage, Tang Tang was the eldest, he was the second, and Tang Yi was the third. Although Tang Tang was a woman, her courage, methods, and ability all surpassed Tang Jun's, and she had already gained the family's recognition. That's why she was qualified to enter the core of Shang Tang Group. If Tang Tang were a man, Tang Jun would certainly have been content to be a profligate, not daring to contend with her for the position of Tang family heir. But Tang Tang happened to be a woman, and a very beautiful one at that, which gave Tang Jun the idea that he could compete with her for the right of inheritance. However, Tang Jun genuinely admired Tang Tang's abilities in his heart. Otherwise, he wouldn't have thought of contacting her first when such a major incident occurred. After copying the contacts, Tang Jun called Tang Tang. "Sister, it's me. I have something I'd like to ask for your help with. I already know about your situation. Keep a low profile recently. Try not to go out before I calm things down for you. Also, I'll arrange a few skilled bodyguards to protect you 24/7. Don't find it troublesome. The person you've provoked this time is not simple." Tang Jun's heart trembled. He hadn't expected Tang Tang to know everything about his affairs. If it were an ordinary family, Tang Jun might interpret it as concern between family members. But in a behemoth like the Tang family, Tang Jun was more inclined to interpret it as surveillance. While Tang Tang was helping him solve the problem, she was also reprimanding him, telling him to behave himself. His every move, every word and deed, was under her surveillance. She was perfectly aware of his daily actions. Tang Jun felt an inexplicable restlessness in his heart. But Tang Jun dared not voice any objection, because every time he spoke with his sister, he would feel an immense pressure. It wasn't just bloodline suppression. It was more of an overwhelming display of ability. "Sister, I understand. As for the family, you don't need to worry about them. You did nothing wrong in this matter. This is inherently a world where the strong prey on the weak. To achieve their goals, everyone employs different methods. It's just that this time, you encountered a stronger opponent, and you became delicious fat meat in someone else's mouth. Besides, those people in the family are not necessarily cleaner than you. Then I'll leave everything to you, sister. Thank you for your trouble this time." Tang Tang didn't respond and hung up the phone. Phew! Tang Jun let out a heavy sigh and wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. The oppressive feeling from his sister seemed even stronger than before, so powerful that it almost made him gasp for breath. He had wanted to compete with such a person for the inheritance of Shang Tang Group. At this moment, even he found it laughable. Early the next morning, Chun Bo accompanied Lu Fei to the hospital for her prenatal checkup. This somewhat flattered Lu Fei, and her face was beaming with happiness. "Congratulations, madam. You are pregnant with twins this time, and they are even a boy and a girl. Truly wonderful news. However, being pregnant with twins at your age is a relatively risky situation, so," the doctor responsible for the prenatal checkup rattled on. It was nothing more than how to secure the pregnancy, reminding her to come to the hospital for regular checkups and so on. Chun-bo thought to himself, why would they bother with the hospital later? He would just bring the entire department home for prenatal checkups. While Chun-bo was pondering, the doctor glanced at Chun-bo, then said to Lu Fei, "This must be your eldest son, right? He even came with you for the prenatal checkup. He's very caring. Child, make sure not to let your mother worry recently. You'll have a younger brother and sister soon. I'm not her child. I'm the father of her children," Chun-bo stated truthfully. Doctor, Chapter 177. Upon learning that Lu Fei was pregnant with twins, Chun-bo and Lu Fei rejoiced for a short while, then immediately shared the news with Wang Hao. Although Wang Hao was no longer favored by Lu Fei, he was, after all, the family member who provided the most rage points. There was no reason not to share such good news with family. Especially after the battles with Gray Rat, Pheasant, and White Eagle, Chun-bo increasingly recognized the value of the system's rewards. They were simply too heaven-defying. Looking at his cleared rage points, Chun-bo felt a void in his heart. Such a good opportunity. How could he not thoroughly mess with Wang Hao, his nominal son? Sure enough, when Chun-bo sent the hospital's test results to Wang Hao, less than a minute passed. Ding! Rage points from Wang Hao. Plus 200. Current total rage points. Plus 340 points. Ding! A rage critical hit of over 100 points has occurred. Rewarding speed attribute plus 1. Current host attributes. Strength, 21. Speed, 22. Endurance, 22. Awesome. He truly was his good son, providing 200 rage points right off the bat, equivalent to 2/10 of a divine skill. Currently, Chun-bo's basic attributes had all exceeded 20 points. This was double the limit for ordinary people. According to Chun-bo's understanding after becoming a martial artist, possessing these basic attributes meant his strength was equivalent to a Qi-gathering 4th-level expert. In other words, Chun-bo, currently at the Qi-gathering 2nd level, combined with physical attributes comparable to Qi-gathering 3rd stage, could better unleash the power of the divine skills obtained through system draws. In the battle with White Eagle, Chun-bo knew that his current strength was unrivaled below the Grandmaster realm. As for the Grandmaster, Chun-bo had not yet encountered one and dared not draw a conclusion. But if he encountered a life-or-death battle, the power he could unleash with a do-or-die attitude might even allow him to contend with a Grandmaster realm expert. However, Chun-bo did not like taking risks. He preferred the feeling of one-sided crushing. Therefore, before encountering a Grandmaster realm martial artist, he should continue to work hard to accumulate more rage points and draw a few more divine skills. Did you think that was the end of it? It wasn't. Chun-bo was just immersed in the joy of gaining 300 rage points when the system's notification sound rang out again. Ding! Rage points from Wang Hao. Plus 300. Current total rage points. Plus 640 points. Ding! A rage critical hit of over 100 points has occurred. Rewarding strength attribute plus 1. Current host attributes. Strength, 22. Speed, 22. Endurance, 22. Meanwhile, Wang Hao was on the verge of collapsing again, because he discovered that his most cherished mommy had blocked him on WeChat. Upon receiving the test results from Chun-bo, Wang Hao almost spat blood. He immediately wanted to message Lu Fei to clarify the truth of the matter. Looking at the red exclamation mark, he realized that mommy had already blocked him on WeChat. In this situation, Wang Hao couldn't help but let out a long howl to the sky. No! At the same time, that familiar BGM once again echoed in his mind, lingering persistently. He had originally thought that Lu Fei wanted to sever ties with him, telling him not to seek her out again, and that all those updates about independence were just Lu Fei's angry words. He never expected that the mother who had once depended on him would be so resolute. At this moment, he realized that Lu Fei's words were not spoken in anger, but that she truly intended to sever ties with him. No, Wang Hao could not accept this fact. He had to find a way to remedy the situation and make mommy recognize him as her son. Even if it meant calling Chun-bo daddy to his face, he would accept it. The first people he thought of were his maternal grandparents, who had raised him since he was a child. In his mind, his maternal grandparents loved him the most. From childhood, they had never refused any request he made to them. And sometimes, worried that Wang Hao didn't have enough money, they would secretly slip cash into his pocket. Moreover, he knew that Lu Fei was a very filial daughter. Lu Fei would definitely listen to her parents' words. Soon, Wang Hao appeared at his maternal grandparents' home. "Why are you here?" The moment his maternal grandmother saw Wang Hao, her face immediately fell as she asked. Her words were filled with coldness, heartlessness, and even a hint of disdain. Wang Hao's heart sank. It had changed. Everything had changed. He no longer felt the kindness and doting love from his maternal grandmother. Her cold attitude was like that of an enemy. Although he sensed that his maternal grandmother's attitude was clearly different from before, Wang Hao still maintained his usual playful smile and, feigning childishness, said, "Grandma, it hasn't been that long since we last met. Have we, grandmother and grandson, become so distant?" His maternal grandmother looked at Wang Hao's playful and cute demeanor, and her heart softened for a moment. After all, this was the grandson she had raised since he was a child. But the moment she saw his face, she immediately became disgusted. That's right, Lu Fei had already told her parents about Wang Taiyu's past photos and his blackmail, and explained why she wanted to cut ties with Wang Hao. When the two elders heard about the beastly actions of Wang Taiyu, they almost fainted from anger. Back then, Lu Fei had just come of age when Wang Taiyu used sweet words to deceive her, and that emotional hurdle was still deeply etched in their hearts. Fortunately, Lu Fei later divorced. Seeing the innocent and lovely Wang Hao as a child, the two elders' hatred for Wang Taiyu had lessened considerably. Unexpectedly, 20 years later, this beast could still do such inhuman things. The two elders' hatred for Wang Taiyu reached its peak. But when a person is jealous, hateful, disgusted, and unable to vent, the hatred will shift. And so, Lu Fei's parents' hatred for Wang Taiyu naturally transferred to his only son, Wang Hao, who bore a striking resemblance to Wang Taiyu. Even though Wang Hao was raised by their own hands, at this moment, the two elders not only felt no affection for this face but found it quite repulsive. "Didn't your mother make it clear to you? Don't come looking for us anymore. It wasn't easy for your mother to raise you. She should live her own life. We don't ask you to be grateful to her, but at least stop bothering her." Hearing his maternal grandmother's words, Wang Hao's heart turned cold. At the same time, Chun-bo received another system notification. Ding! Rage points from Wang Hao, plus 80. Current total rage points, 720 points. How could even his maternal grandparents? Wang Hao refused to believe that his most loving and doting maternal grandparents also wanted to sever ties with him. "Grandpa, Grandma, I'm Wang Hao, your beloved good grandson. Is there some misunderstanding about me?" Hearing this, his maternal grandfather, who had been silent, couldn't help but rush out and curse. "Misunderstanding? Go ask that beastly father of yours what he did to your mother. I've never seen such a shameless and depraved person in my life. Grandpa, my dad is already dead. Let the dead rest in peace. What unforgivable things did he do? Besides, when he was alive, I didn't see you two get so angry," Wang Hao asked with a frown. "Who?" Wang Hao's words immediately infuriated his maternal grandfather, whose chest heaved violently, almost causing him to faint. Seeing this, his maternal grandmother immediately stepped forward to support her husband, gently rubbing his chest to help him calm down. Get out, you people named Wang. Get out. If you dare to come to my house again, I'll break your legs." His maternal grandfather grabbed a cup and hurled it fiercely at Wang Hao. Seeing this, Wang Hao could only tuck his tail between his legs and flee rapidly. He didn't understand why his grandfather, who had always doted on him, would treat him this way. It was all Chun-bo. Ever since Chun-bo intervened in his family, everything had changed. Ding! Rage points from Wang Hao, 220. Current total rage points, plus 940 points. Ding, a rage critical hit of over 100 points has occurred. Rewarding strength attribute plus 1. Current host attributes. Strength, 23. Speed, 22. Endurance, 22.